Chosen one. Something subtle has shifted beneath the surface of your life, and even if the world around you looks the same, the ground you're standing on is no longer where it was. This is not noise. This is not coincidence. This is not the random swing of chance brushing past you. There is a quiet rearranging happening. Not loud, not dramatic, but precise. You may have felt it as a pause, a strange stillness before movement, like the air holding its breath. What you're stepping into was not rushed. It was prepared, timed with patience you couldn't see. For a long while it felt like effort without echo, like giving without return, like walking forward while the horizon stayed distant. But unseen hands were adjusting the path beneath your feet. Not to test you, to align you. This isn't about luck finding you on a good day. It's about alignment meeting you at the exact moment you were ready to carry it. There are scenes in life that only make sense once the lighting changes. Moments that felt heavy suddenly reveal their purpose. Delays that quietly turn into protection. You didn't miss anything. Nothing passed you by. Nothing meant for you went elsewhere. The timing was never late. It was waiting for you to become still enough to receive without fear. Notice how your perspective has softened. How urgency has been replaced with clarity. How wanting has turned into knowing. This is the language of alignment, not force, not chase. What's moving toward you doesn't arrive with noise. It arrives with certainty, with calm authority. You may sense it in the way decisions feel lighter now, in the way doors no longer require pushing, in the way resistance quietly steps aside. This is how provision begins to flow. Not through struggle, through order. The universe does not scramble when it delivers what is assigned to you. It arranges, coordinates. Every resource has a route. Every opportunity has a signal. Every blessing knows where to land. And right now, your name is glowing on the map. Not because you demanded it. Not because you proved anything. But because alignment recognizes readiness. There is a calm confidence forming in you. Not excitement, assurance. The kind that doesn't announce itself. The kind that knows. You are not stepping into abundance with raised hands and racing thoughts. You are stepping into it grounded. Clear-eyed. This chapter doesn't begin with celebration. It begins with silence, with awareness, with the understanding that what's unfolding doesn't need permission to arrive. It already has authority. Something has already been set in motion, not visible yet, but undeniable. You don't need to rush ahead to meet it. It's adjusting its pace to meet you. Let this moment settle. Let the stillness speak. Because the next shift will not announce itself. And when it does arrive, it will feel like recognition, not surprise. Chosen one, the moment you're standing in now is quieter than you expected. Yet it carries more weight than any turning point you've known. Nothing is rushing you forward. Nothing is pulling you back. You are suspended in a precise in-between. This is where alignment tightens its focus. Behind the scenes of your life, pieces are finding their positions. Not hurried, not uncertain. Think of a stage before the curtain lifts. The lights are set. The marks are measured. No one in the audience sees the preparation, but everything depends on it. You may notice fewer distractions reaching you lately. Less chaos demanding attention. Less noise convincing you to react. That isn't emptiness. is clearance. Space has been made so what belongs to you can arrive without obstruction. There were times when money felt like a question mark, a moving target, something you chased or worried into exhaustion. Now it feels different, less emotional, more settled, as if the topic itself has lowered its voice. This is important. When alignment begins, urgency fades. Panic dissolves. Grasping loosens its grip. What replaces it is a grounded readiness. A calm expectation without a deadline. You don't need to visualize outcomes. You don't need to convince the future. What's forming is responding to who you are now, not who you were when you were trying too hard. There is a dignity returning to your energy. A steadiness that doesn't fluctuate with numbers or opinions. That steadiness is magnetic. Opportunities recognize it instantly. Resources respect it. Provision moves toward it without resistance. This is how flow actually begins. When you stop leaning forward and stand exactly where you are. Notice how certain thoughts no longer hook you, how comparison feels irrelevant, how envy has lost its voice. That wasn't discipline. That was elevation. You're not being lifted above others. You're being lifted out of noise. From here, timing behaves differently. Things no longer feel early or late. They feel exact. A conversation at the right moment. An idea arriving fully formed. A decision becoming obvious instead of complicated. These are signals, not coincidences. Something has already said yes to you. You don't hear it yet because it's still approaching, but its path is clear. It doesn't rush because it doesn't need to compete. What is meant for you doesn't race against anything else. It moves with authority. Your role right now is simpler than you think. Remain present. Remain open. Not alert. Not tense. Just available. The shift you're in is not dramatic. It's refined. Like gold being separated from weight. Like clarity rising once the water stills. This is the part of the story where the music drops low, where the camera pulls in close, where nothing obvious happens, yet everything changes. Stay here a moment longer. Let the alignment settle fully into place, because the next movement won't ask if you're ready. It will assume you are. Chosen one, what is forming around you now carries a calm inevitability. Like something that has already decided to arrive and is simply closing the distance. There is no tension in this phase. No dramatic signal. Only quiet certainty. You may notice how patience no longer feels like waiting. It feels like standing on solid ground. Like knowing the floor will hold. This is how alignment deepens. The old patterns don't follow you here. The constant calculating, the silent worry disguised as planning, those belong to a different chapter, one that taught you endurance, one that shaped your awareness. But this chapter is written differently. You're no longer being prepared. You are being positioned. Subtle adjustments are happening in how you respond to the world. What once felt urgent now feels optional. What once felt heavy now feels neutral. This neutrality is powerful. It means your emotions are no longer negotiating outcomes. They're no longer standing in the way of flow. Money responds to clarity, to calm, to grounded presence. It avoids desperation. It bypasses fear. And right now, your energy is no longer broadcasting either. You're beginning to sense when to move, and when stillness is the movement. That discernment is rare. It's the reason things will soon arrive without struggle. Why effort will feel proportional again. Why progress will no longer cost your peace. You didn't lose momentum in the quiet. You gathered it, like a river narrowing before it accelerates, like a breath drawn fully before release. You may feel moments of reflection rising unexpectedly, memories revisiting you without emotion, past decisions appearing without regret. That's integration. Nothing from your past is being judged now. It's being absorbed, turned into wisdom, and wisdom changes how reality responds to you. You're no longer pushing life to prove something. You're meeting it as an equal participant. This is why doors will open without explanation. Why help will appear without request. Why answers will arrive before questions form. Not because you're special in the loud way, but because you're aligned in the quiet way. There is a difference. You don't need signs to reassure you anymore. Your body already knows. Your breath already trusts, and trust is a form of currency. The scene is slowly changing now, the lighting warming, the background shifting almost invisibly. What once felt like distance is becoming proximity. You don't see it yet because it's approaching from behind the frame, but its presence is already affecting the atmosphere. Pay attention to how your thoughts soften, how certainty replaces anticipation, how peace feels less conditional. This is not the end of effort. It's the end of friction. What's next will feel earned without feeling exhausting. It will feel natural without feeling small. And when the moment finally steps into view, it won't announce itself with noise. It will simply arrive, as if it was always supposed to be here, right now. Chosen one, there is a softness entering your life now that feels unfamiliar only because you were taught to expect struggle before reward. This softness is not weakness. It is precision. What is unfolding does not need force to arrive. It recognizes the frequency you're holding. It responds to it naturally. You may notice how effort no longer defines your worth, how rest no longer feels like delay, how ease no longer triggers suspicion. That shift is intentional. For a long time, movement required friction. Progress demanded proof. Security felt conditional. But alignment changes the rules quietly. You are no longer proving you deserve stability. You are remembering that it responds to balance. Watch how your attention behaves now. It drifts less toward worry. It settles more easily into the present. This presence is not passive. It is receptive. And receptivity is powerful. What is meant to support you can finally see where to land. There is room now. There is clarity. You may feel guided to simplify without effort, to release without attachment, to choose without overthinking. These are not random impulses. They are refinements. Each refinement clears static from the signal you're sending. The world does not respond to what you want as much as how you are. And right now, how you are is steady. That steadiness is being noticed, not by people alone, by timing, by opportunity. Certain paths are closing gently behind you, not with loss, with relief. You no longer need multiple directions open at once. One clear route is forming. It doesn't shout. It doesn't rush. It waits for your acknowledgement. You might feel a quiet confidence rising that doesn't need validation. A sense that what's coming will integrate into your life smoothly, without disruption. That's because it belongs here. There is no adjustment period for what is aligned. Fits immediately. Settles naturally. Soon, you will notice results without the emotional spike you expected. No disbelief. No rush to tell anyone. Just recognition. Like seeing something you already knew was yours. This is the maturity of alignment. When blessings arrive calmly. When growth doesn't require an announcement. Your nervous system is learning safety in stability. Your mind is learning trust without evidence. Your spirit is learning to receive without bracing. All of this is happening together. You are not behind. You are not catching up. You are exactly where the next unfolding requires you to be. The scene ahead is already written, but you will experience it as if it's happening for the first time. Because alignment doesn't erase surprise. It removes resistance. Stay present with this feeling. Let it anchor itself. The next shift will feel almost ordinary at first. And that's how you'll know. It's real. Chosen one, the rhythm of your life is changing now. Not by speeding up, but by finding its true pace. You are no longer being pulled forward by urgency. You are being guided by alignment. This difference matters. When things rush, they scatter. When things align, they arrive whole. You may notice how your choices feel quieter lately. Less debate inside. Less need to justify. Decisions don't demand energy anymore. They reveal themselves. This is the mark of an inner recalibration. A subtle return to center. A deepening trust in timing. What's coming toward you does not require preparation through stress. It requires availability through presence. That presence is now steady in you. Where once you felt pressure to act quickly, you now feel permission to wait until movement feels clean. And when you do move, there is no second guessing. That clarity is not accidental. It's earned through every moment you stayed when leaving felt easier. Every time you listened instead of forcing. Those moments rewired how life responds to you. The world mirrors coherence. Resources flow toward order. Support gathers around stability. Provision finds calm ground. This is why things will begin to arrange themselves without announcement. A shift in numbers that feels natural. An opening that doesn't require persuasion. You won't feel the need to celebrate prematurely. You'll simply accept. Acceptance is powerful. It signals readiness without grasping. Confidence without tension. You are no longer chasing a future version of yourself. You are inhabiting the one that can receive. Notice how your body reacts now to thoughts of expansion. There is no tightness, no contraction, only openness. That openness is an invitation. Not everything needs to arrive at once. What's aligned arrives in sequence, each piece reinforcing the next. Nothing overwhelms you here. Nothing destabilizes. Even growth feels gentle. You may sense a growing respect for your own pace. A refusal to rush what deserves dignity. A calm authority in saying yes only when it feels complete. This authority changes the atmosphere around you. Others feel it. Opportunities feel it. Timing responds to it. You are no longer adjusting yourself to fit possibilities. Possibilities are adjusting to fit you. This is not control. It's coherence. And coherence attracts support without demand. The story is moving forward now, but not in chapters you strain to read ahead. Each moment reveals just enough. Each step confirms the last. You are not meant to leap blindly. You are meant to walk with certainty. Soon, something tangible will reflect this inner shift. Not loudly, not dramatically, but clearly. And when it does, you won't question whether it's real. You will recognize it by how peacefully it enters your life. Stay with this calm. Let it become familiar, because what follows next will build on this foundation, and it will not ask you to become anyone other than who you already are. Chosen one, there is a quiet confirmation settling into you now, the kind that doesn't need evidence to feel true. It arrives without excitement, without urgency, without the need to convince anyone. This is how alignment matures. You may notice how your inner dialogue has softened. Fewer questions, longer pauses between thoughts. Those pauses are not emptiness. They are trust taking shape. What once felt uncertain no longer asks for reassurance. It stands on its own, stable, grounded. This stability changes how the future approaches you. Instead of testing your endurance, it begins to collaborate with your calm. You are no longer bracing for outcomes. You are receiving them with composure. That composure is the signal. When life senses steadiness, it responds with reliability. When it senses clarity, it responds with precision. This is why what comes next will feel proportional, balanced, appropriate to who you are now. Nothing excessive, nothing withheld, just right. You might reflect on earlier seasons and notice something new. Not regret, gratitude without sentimentality. Each experience served a function. Each delay refined your discernment. Each challenge adjusted your alignment. Nothing was wasted. You don't need to revisit the past to extract meaning anymore. The meaning has already integrated. Now your attention naturally moves forward. Not with anticipation, with readiness. There is a difference. Anticipation leans outward. Readiness stands still and allows approach. You are standing still in the best possible way. From this place, timing becomes cooperative. Events no longer collide. They sequence. One thing leading to another without friction. Each step feeling supported by the last. This is not acceleration. It is flow. You are no longer impressed by noise. You recognize substance immediately. What carries weight doesn't announce itself loudly. It arrives with ease, with coherence. Soon, something in your external world will mirror this inner order. A development that feels inevitable once it appears. A result that doesn't surprise you because you already felt it forming. You won't rush to interpret it. You won't overanalyze its meaning. You'll simply acknowledge it. That acknowledgement completes the circuit. Alignment does not ask for celebration. It asks for recognition, and you are recognizing it now. Your sense of self is no longer tied to outcome. It is anchored in presence. From that anchor point, growth becomes sustainable. Expansion becomes safe. You are no longer negotiating with the universe. You are cooperating with it. This cooperation feels like relief, like exhaling after holding your breath without realizing it. Stay here, not because you must wait, but because this state is what allows the next movement to arrive cleanly. There is no rush forward, no signal to retreat. only a quiet assurance that what's approaching knows exactly where you are. And when it steps into view, it won't feel like a breakthrough. It will feel like continuation. Chosen one, the atmosphere around you is different now, as if the world itself has adjusted its tone to meet your steadiness. Nothing presses in. Nothing pulls away. Everything holds. This is the space where outcomes feel natural before they appear. You may sense a growing comfort with uncertainty, not because you lack direction, but because you trust the path to reveal itself step by step. That trust is not blind. It is informed by experience. By all the times you survived what once felt impossible. Your system remembers, and it relaxes. What once required effort to maintain now sustains itself. Balance doesn't wobble. Focus doesn't fracture. You are moving through your days with a quiet integrity, doing what needs doing without over-identifying with results, allowing life to respond. This is not detachment. It is maturity. When alignment settles, it simplifies. Complexity falls away. Only what matters remains. You may notice fewer desires competing for your attention, not because you have less ambition, but because your ambition has refined itself. You know what matters now, and what doesn't ask for energy anymore. This clarity creates momentum without noise, progress without friction, expansion without strain. You are no longer measuring yourself against imagined timelines. You are living in rhythm. Rhythm doesn't rush. It repeats, reinforces, builds. From here, what comes next will feel integrated, as if it has always been part of your life's design, just waiting for the right moment to become visible. You may feel moments of deep appreciation rise unexpectedly. Not excitement, gratitude without reason. Those moments are signals. They tell you that something has landed internally, that alignment is no longer approaching. It is present. Soon there will be an external reflection, a confirmation that doesn't ask for interpretation. Simply fits. You won't feel the need to question it, or analyze how it happened, or wonder if it will last. Stability recognizes stability. This is where sustainability begins, where growth doesn't cost peace,